Give it up one more time for Jason Marshall. So as you can see, the staff has prepared this beautiful QR code for you all today. And if your young student enjoyed what they experienced this summer and maybe wants a slightly less intensive version of it throughout the year, a healthy dose sprinkled throughout the year, we have our registration open. So we have, again, programs in New York and here in Montclair, New Jersey. Registration just opened up over the weekend. So please, if you want the best deal and the best price, the earlier you register, definitely better. So if you want, you can take a picture of this, register on your own time, do whatever you need to do. But this next group is led by a great, great saxophonist, someone I really look up to. And he was at the Jazz House many years ago when I was a student. And since then he's moved away, and we're very, very sad to see him go from our immediate community. But every summer we get to steal him back. And him and his wife are part of an amazing organization that they founded called the Jazz Exchange. And I'm actually really indebted to this organization because they gave me and my band one of my first opportunities to play with my band and play some original music. And you know, he and his wife always believed in me, and they're doing such amazing work in Texas. And because of our partnership with the Jazz Exchange, we were able to bring students from Juarez, Mexico, and Texas as well. And this international partnership is something we really value and something that adds a lot to the camp. And it's my pleasure to have him every year and welcome him back. And he's also been instrumental in our housing program and has just been huge there, leading jam sessions every single night with these amazing students. So I want us to give us a huge round of applause for Abel Morales.
Thank you so much. It's so great to always be back, and especially now that I'm staying all the way out there in El Paso, Texas. And but I wanted to, before we play, because they got everything already organized. They're ready for a gig. You can hire them, call me, you know, and then, but they're ready for the gig. Pretty much, you're gonna hear from them. They're gonna talk about the songs. And but I just wanted to say it's been my pleasure to work with them for the past 2 weeks. And they've been amazing learners. They've been actually learning how to work together as a team, and also how to, you know, show some leadership. So I'm gonna pass on the microphone to one of them, and they're gonna rotate. So and they're gonna introduce the band and everybody. Okay, so.
Well, good afternoon, everybody. We're the combo called Brothers in Swing. Funny name, I know. But first of all, before we get into the songs, I gotta present to you the people that make this possible. First, our drummers, Harry and Ragav, both great drummers. Please give a great round of applause. Now, our sax players, Sebastian, Tekiru, and Owen. Big round of applause for Mr. Liam Santos, Ezra Torres on guitar, and of course, the great Miles on trombone. Wait, not finished. Noah Jackson on bass. And well, me, I'm holding a bass, so that's pretty obvious. Well, the first song we're playing is called Straight Life by Freddie Hubbard. This song is featured in the record by the same name, Straight Life, and Freddie Hubbard is one of the greatest trumpet players in jazz. I hope you enjoy it.
ladies and gentlemen. My name is Miles Lewis, and I'd like to introduce our second piece, Sack of Woe, composed by the legendary saxophonist Julian Cannonball Adderley. The song, high catchy groove, blues-infused harmony song, is a song we're really proud to present. So without further ado, Sack of Woe.
brother of Cannonball Adderley, who we just heard from on Sack of Woe. One for Daddy-O is a minor blues with a medium swing. Our soloists are Miles Lewis on the trombone. Let's give it up for him. Yeah. And Takira Kotoro on the alto saxophone. Without further ado, we're going to play One for Daddy-O.
Good evening, I'm Sebastian, and for our last song, we will play Gingerbread Boy. It was composed by Jimmy Heath, and it is a 16-bar modified blues. I hope you enjoy it.
Yeah, yo. Sounding good. The kick drum, bro? Yeah. We got, the student wants to say something.
Wait, I was presenting the band and I forgot the three most important members. Our two TAs, Dominic and Alvaro, have helped us the whole way in these 2 weeks to present this. And of course, Mr. Abel Mireles, who has to have to put up with us for 2 whole days, 5 days a week, being sacrificed. Thank you so much.
So, before we get going with our next group, you know, a big part of what we do at Jazz House Kids is, of course, on the educational side, but of course, another big thing is concert production. And the biggest concert we put on all year is, by and large, the Montclair Jazz Festival. Just a quick show of hands. How many people have attended the Montclair Jazz Festival before? Oh, that is way too little hands. Okay. So the Montclair Jazz Festival, first of all, there's 8 hours of music this year from 12 p.m. to 8 p.m. Some of the hottest names in jazz, like Jasmine Horn. We're going to be celebrating James Moody, to Christian McBride's Ursa Major, Gotham Kings, Lakeisha Benjamin, and so much more. We have an amazing lineup this year, and the best part about it is no tickets required, completely free and open to the public. That's really aligns with one of Jazz House's core pillars, which is access and definitely community building. You know, we've had upwards of 20 to 30,000 people show up at the Montclair Jazz Festival. It's an amazing time. It brings the whole town of Montclair together. There's vendors, people of all ages, and it's really an amazing time. So this year, the Montclair Jazz Festival, the Jamboree, will be on September 13th in Lackawanna Plaza. So mark your calendars, September 13th, and again, free, so please spread the word. And if you want to become a member of the Montclair Jazz Festival, check series. So we're actually kind of already in the Montclair Jazz Festival season. We do a bunch of these soundcheck series at the Wellmont Plaza in Montclair on Bloomfield Avenue. And upcoming on August 20th, Wednesday, August 20th, we're going to be having Afro-Cuban night, celebrating Afro-Cuban music and its influence in jazz with the great Pedrito Martinez. So that's August 20th in the Wellmont Plaza. Again, totally free and open to the public. And now, let's get to some music. This is an amazing human being right here, and that is Charlie Sigler. Anyone who knows him knows how great he is. An amazing guitarist, amazing musician, and one of the easiest people to work with, and someone who really cares about the music and will go above and beyond for the music and the people playing the music. And I couldn't be more grateful for him. This is his amazing ensemble. And yeah, please give them a huge Jazz House round of applause. Thank you.
Thank you all so much. Just want to say it's been a great pleasure working with these great young musicians, and it's been a very fun week. And I'm excited for y'all to hear what they're up to.
Jackie by Kenny Dorham, and I would like to introduce the band right now. So, we have Luca on piano. Give it up for Luca. We have our amazing drummer Troy. We have Will on alto sax. We also have Jean on alto sax. And we have Maya on tenor sax. And me on guitar, yes.
Keen on guitar.
Yes, me, I'm Keen, yes, hello. I'd like to give two special shout outs to two of my favorite people. One of them is Dominic, he's our amazing bassist. Everyone give it up for Dominic! Wow, I can't believe he's just really, he's amazing. He's an amazing bassist. He's literally done everything. He's helped me with everything. I'd like just to give him an amazing shout out. A great shout out, yes. And we have our instructor, Charlie Sigler. Give it up for Charlie. Now, we're gonna, we're gonna be performing Roy Allen by Roy Hargrove.
Yeah, Charlie Sigler. Give it up. Charlie Sigler's Ensemble. So if you like what you're hearing and you think these musicians sound pretty good, which I think they sound more than pretty good, we have our Jazz House Emerging Artist Showcase this weekend. I was talking about the Montclair Jazz Festival earlier. This is part of the Montclair Jazz Festival. And this is going to feature all of our big bands from the summer, all 7 instrumental big bands, plus our vocal ensemble, plus the Chica Power Big Band, making that 9 total big bands of amazing music. We'll be starting from 10 a.m. and going till 3, and it's free and for the whole family. There's a lot of also great restaurants and activities to do down there, so I would really love to see most of you there. And everyone's going to be wearing our new Jazz House t-shirt that day. So tomorrow we're giving out our 2025 camp t-shirts. Every year it's a new design. And I think you got a little bit of a sneak peek. This is our Jazz House Summer t-shirt this year, featuring my favorite instrument, the tenor saxophone, and the bass, which is our artistic director Christian McBride's favorite instrument. And this was really designed by a great member of our team, Chris Doyle. So if we could get a nice shout out for Chris Doyle for designing this amazing shirt. So let's just get to more music. This faculty member was on the stage earlier today playing with Camille Thurman, absolutely tearing it up. One of my favorite drummers and an amazing, amazing educator, and that is none other than the great Alvester Garnett.
Yes. Thank you. Let's welcome to the stage Matthew Stern on the piano, Augusto Sherman on the guitar, Gabriel O'Neill on drums, Ahabu Chase also on drums, and we've got Adam Bradley on the trumpet, and we've got Matea Raja Mandari on the tenor saxophone, Zinayan Shalapa Evis on, is that right? Ice on alto saxophone, and Josh Humphreys on alto saxophone. We'd like to start off with a composition by Philly Joe Jones entitled Joe's Debut.
Thank you.
entitled Quiet Fire. Please enjoy.
Absolutely tearing it up. Yeah, yo! Oh, man. That was awesome. Yes, sir. Woo! Man, that was incredible. This next group is also going to be very incredible. But I do want to say that especially in times like this in this country, where so many decisions are being made about, oh, I'm talking about the wrong thing. Here we go. Pivot. Who doesn't like being cold? Sorry, that was terrible. But, you know, I had the privilege of going on the jazz cruise about a couple of years ago. And first of all, who doesn't love cruises in general? Great food, great places. This cruise happens in January, where here it's honestly unfathomably cold. And this year, our artistic director, Christian McBride, is leading his own cruise. So he's going to have all of his bands on this cruise, some amazing, amazing musicians like Sullivan Fortner and Cecile McLaurin-Salvant. It's going to be an amazing time. There's great food, drinks, amazing locations. So the tickets are available for McBride's World, and they're going to go to Fort Lauderdale, Jamaica, Grand Cayman Islands. So pretty amazing stuff. And there's a promo code. If you use the Jazz House, you can get a special deal. So we would really like to see you there. But more importantly, we have Radam Schwarz's ensemble coming up. And Radam Schwarz is nothing short of an absolute legend, an amazing educator. That look is like, I know I am. You know you are. Huh? Oh, no. So Radam, I mean, he is such a staple of what we do here at the Jazz House, and he really is a practitioner, one of the leading practitioners in the world of the jazz organ tradition, and he's so knowledgeable about the music, and he has a famous improv class, and the famous Radam Schwarz organ, you know, we don't use ambassadors, but I'll use it, the Organ Ambassadors Ensemble, and we have Wyatt over here. I want to give him a special shout out. So Wyatt is one of our student ambassadors, which we've been doing this year, and he's been stepping into a leadership role, and we couldn't be more proud of him, but I'm even more proud of him for tackling this beast of an instrument. It's not easy to play, is it, Radam? Yeah, it's not. And, you know, Wyatt's been working really hard, and Radam has some amazing music planned for you guys, so I'm just going to pass it off to him, but let's give him a nice Jazz House welcome, Radam Schwarz!
All right. First of all, let's have a hand for the aggregation here. We have Cameron on trombone. We have Thomas on trumpet. Nikki on alto. Derek on tenor. The organ group always incorporates a guitar. It's a very important element of the organ combo, and we have Brody on guitar. Let's hear it for him. And we have two drummers. Let's hear it for Daniel and Teo. And you already met Wyatt on the organ. And I'm going to tell you what we're going to play, and then we're just going to go straight through our program. We're exactly at 18 minutes. So after I get done with my 11-minute speech, start counting. No, we're going to start off with a tune that you had to know if you were on the organ circuit. It's a tune by Jimmy Smith, father of the modern jazz organ. It's called Back at the Chicken Shack. And after we get done playing the head, we're going to play the Jimmy Smith solo. And after that, we're going to play a tune that in Newark, everybody used to play. I don't know, it didn't make the real book, so nobody plays it anymore, but it's by Sonny Clark. It's entitled Melody for C. And we're also going to play the Sonny Clark solo, and that one. And then that means we're going to play it in unison with everybody playing it. Then we're going to go in and we're going to feature our guitarist Brody on a West Montgomery tune called Jingles. And after that, we're going to play a tune that I wrote for the great Dr. Lonnie Smith. Lonnie Smith used to say, I don't play notes, I play life. So the name of the tune is Playing Life. So we hope you enjoy our program, and we're going to get started now. 1, 2, 1, 2. up our great TA that we had. Let's hear it for Hunter Pullen. He's going to help us out on this tune entitled Playing Life.
Thank
And I'm always just amazed as to how great Radam's group sounds. And he hand writes all his arrangements, and I've been telling him for years he should get a font made out of his handwriting because it would be a hit. So, what I wanted to say, huh? Okay, I don't know. Okay, I'll work on it. I got it. But I just want to take a second to say that you can give another round of applause. Yeah. Radam Schwarz. In today's world and climate right here, right now, making something like this organization would not be possible without all of you. The community that we have here at the Jazz House is so strong, and we're so grateful for our donors and our parents and families who help support this organization. With funding getting cut left and right, we need you guys more than ever right now. And we don't want to slow down. We don't want to roll back any of the things we're doing. If anything, if you know anything about our founder, Melissa Walker, it's always like we're always trying to grow and impact more people and touch more lives. And in this time, we really need your guys' help and support. So any kind of donations, whether it's just even covering a private lesson for a student in need, or if you can do even more than that, you can sponsor someone's tuition to come to a program like this, or enroll in our year-long classes, or maybe support even private lessons with someone like Mike Lee or Bruce Williams for a semester. These kind of things and experiences, your money is straight going to things that really, really impact the lives of our young people. And access is one of our most important pillars. And anything you guys can do to help would be really, really appreciated. As you saw outside at the desk, we have a suggested donation box. That helps. If you want to make a larger contribution, that helps. Becoming a member of the Montclair Jazz Festival, that helps. So there's many ways that you can get involved. And we also have volunteer opportunities, especially for the Montclair Jazz Festival coming up on September 13th. We have a parent committee you can be part of. So there's so many ways to get involved here and join our community. And we just vow to keep making this great American art form more accessible to the young generation, and more importantly, using the music as a vehicle to teach the values embedded within this American art form. So anything you guys can do would really be appreciated. And now for the final group of our session is our, thank you, Melissa. Everyone say hi to Melissa Walker back there. See, I'm surprised because Melissa was so exhausted and tired today, and she has a huge interview. CNN has been in the house for the past 2 days, and she has a one-on-one interview with Laura Coates tomorrow, and they're going to be coming around to a bunch of our ensembles. And she was like, I just need a moment for myself. And in the back of my mind, I was thinking, I'm definitely going to see Melissa tonight. And lo and behold, here she is showing up for the students. So give her a huge round of applause. No one's working as hard as her, I promise. And, speaking of Melissa, she's such an amazing vocalist. About 10 or 12 years ago, we hired this next faculty member to help start a vocal program here at the Jazz House. And he has been so amazing. He has been with us for over a decade now, just imparting so much wisdom on generations and generations of vocalists that have come out through the program. He's a faculty member here at Montclair State University. And can we get a round of applause for Montclair State University? We have been guests in this house for 10 years, and we are in every nook and cranny of this building. It's no small ask, so a huge shout out to Rose Cali and Oscar Perez, the head of the jazz department here, and of course the new director of the Cali School, who has been so welcoming to us, Dr. Shay Scruggs. Can we get a huge round of applause for him as well? But we have some amazing singers coming up for you guys, and I want us to give a nice warm Jazz House welcome to Dylan Pramick.
Thank you. Good evening. Well, I am just so delighted to present these three singers to you to close out this first set this evening. Y'all having a good time? Come on. Yeah. Thank you. So these singers, we started off learning a bunch of repertoire last week. They got to bring in some tunes of their own, and I also shared with them, we looked at some centenary artists, including songs written by Mel Torme, the singer, yes, he was a songwriter too, and Gigi Grice, who had a few of his songs lyricized by Jon Hendricks. We listened to recordings by Art Farmer, and Betty Carter, and Benny Benack with Veronica Swift, and Jasmine Horn, and Samara Joy. And then we settled on some tunes, and over the past week we've developed arrangements, and I think these singers are going to shine for you right now. To get things started, I would like to welcome to the stage Jenny Emanuel.
Hi everybody, I'm Jenny. I'm gonna be singing a song that was by Cliff. The original song was sung by Cliff Edwards, the original character of Jim Cricket. It's also, the movie you could hear it from is from Pinocchio, and it's also a Disney classic, and I'm gonna be singing When You Wish Upon a Star. You
Hello, everybody. I like to pretend like I know everybody who's ever been to Jazz House, but for those who don't know me, my name is Mark Calix. I've been here for a while now. It's my 6th year at the workshop. So, this is my final vocal ensemble performance. I'll be singing a song made by Bruno Brigetti. It is Bruno Martino's centenary this year, late Bruno Martino. This is a song made popular by Gilberto, and lyrics were originally in Italian, but the English lyrics were made by John Hendricks. This is Estate. You more than any other season. My heart has lost all thought of rhyme or reason. Without you, it's like winter in my heart. In summer, the memory of things we did together are stronger than the trials we had to weather. I can't believe that you and I would part. It's the end of life's daydream, like plucking all the petals from the roses, like sharing all the secrets love discloses, like stopping songs of birds before they start. In summer, when once again I feel the old desire, when you return to set my soul afire. Without you, it's like winter in my heart. Like stopping songs of birds before they start. In summer, when once again I feel the old desire, time to set my soul afire. It's like winter in my heart. Now introducing Sadie.
Hi, my name is Selby, and first I'd like to introduce our rhythm section. We have Aiden on the piano, Gabriel on bass, Alex on drums. This song was written by Frank Lesser, who also wrote Guys and Dolls, and it was written for the 1942 film 7 Days Leave, and it has been made popular again by Samira Joy. This is Can't Get Out of This Mood. All day long, before my eyes, come little visions of you. They shouldn't, they mustn't, but they do. Can't get out of this mood. Can't get over this feeling. Can't get out of this mood. Last night, your lips were too appealing. The thrill shining all my life today. In the usual way. But it's only your arms I'm out of. Can't get out of this dream. What a fool to dream of you. 'Twasn't part of my scheme to start and tell you that I love you. What I'm saying, I'm letting it go. Can't get out of this mood. Heartbreak, here I go. Can't get out of this mood. Can't get over this feeling. Can't get out of this mood. Last night, your lips were too appealing. All my life today. In the usual way. But it's only your arms I'm out of. This dream. What a fool to dream of you. Wasn't part of my scheme to start and tell you that I love you.
Thank you. Yeah, one more time for Jenny, Mark, Sadie, Aiden, Gabrielle, and Alex. Thank you. Say goodbye. Stick around.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, I want to take a second to, again, give a round of applause to all the students that performed in the first set today. And of course, our sponsors, the ASCAP Foundation, Louis Armstrong Fund, Trinity Church, New York, Ella Fitzgerald Charitable Foundation, ShopRite of New York, North New Jersey Chapter of Jack and Jill of America, the MacMillan Family Foundation, Maione, Prima Foundation, the Rosenberg Family Foundation, and in honor of the class of 2025, Ben Collins Siegel Family Scholarship, the Zohar Tabo Family Scholarship, and the Kurt Ram Family Scholarship. Again, none of this would be possible without our fantastic, fantastic sponsors. And we are running tight on time, so we're just gonna go right on into our second set here today. And you know, this year at the summer workshop, I couldn't be more honored to be directing this amazing, amazing program here. And it's been an absolute joy. I'm definitely a little tired, but hearing all of the hard work of these musicians and hearing how the way they sound definitely gives me a lot of life. And a couple of new things we decided to do this year was start an ambassadors program where we asked some of our older students who've been coming to the workshop year after year if they would be willing to step into more of a leadership role. Things like helping us load in, volunteering their time to do community service for us, or doing icebreaker games with new students. And just, they have done such an amazing job on the bandstand and off the bandstand with just doing amazing work with our newer students. And I want to recognize one of them right here on the stage, Cormac O'Gorman, who's been doing a fantastic job. And of course, Ryan Lemus, Newark's own Ryan, just doing an amazing job. They've been longtime members of our community, and I definitely wanted to highlight the amazing work they've been doing as student ambassadors, and we couldn't be more proud of them. And a huge shout out to my colleague, Jennifer Grantham, who's behind the scenes right now, right here. Oh, time's perfect. She has been a huge help in all of our concerts, but even more so, one of her biggest visions was to have Chica Power Big Band. And for those of you who don't know, Chica Power is an initiative, a year-round initiative by Jazz House Kids to try to get solve the problem in this music of not having enough and an equal amount of girls playing this music. So year-round, we have this program called Chica Power, where we bring in special guests. We host like little mini 5-week sessions, both in New York and New Jersey. And this year is the first time ever we have added a new big band here at Jazz House Kids called the Chica Power Big Band. And actually, Mariel is one of the members of that Chica Power Big Band. And they sound killing! From the first day of the rehearsal, I was like, oh my God, this band is gonna be killing. Don't they sound killing? Don't you sound killing? Yeah, see? And she's an Eklund, so she's very hard on herself, but she's honest. And so if she's telling you they sound good, that means they sound really good. And you can hear them this Saturday. I'll get to more about Saturday later. But again, huge shout out to Jen Grantham and Ariana Soa for making this Chica Power Big Band possible. There you go. And last but not least, our artistic director, Christian McBride, one of the busiest people in the world. You can give it up for him. So the reason we want to clap for him is in the entire history of the Jazz House Summer Workshop, this is his first time he's actually been able to teach a class every single day of the workshop. And he's been teaching jazz history, 1960s to the present day. And it has been amazing. All the students in his class have absolutely loved it. And we're going to have him back next year. I think he got the gig back. So we're going to welcome Christian McBride to our faculty. And so those are just some of the new things we've been doing at the summer workshop this year. But now I want to get to some music. And speaking of new things, this is our newest faculty member at the summer workshop. He teaches for us at Trinity, Rob Edwards.
Yes, thank you very much. Super happy to be part of the Montclair faction of Jazz House Kids. Been over at Trinity for a few years, and it's inspiring every semester, every class. And these cats are no different. I'm not going to speak very much. We're going to get right into it. This first tune is written by Kenny Dorham. It's entitled Una Mas. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. inspiring to hear this ensemble play. I've been very lucky to hear them for about a week and a half now. Give it up for all these amazing musicians, the future of jazz. How about the strut line? Ryan, Marielle, and Verna. And in our great rhythm section, that's Elazar, Diego, Corbin, and Jayne. Thank you all very much. We're going to do one more tune. This is entitled Bootin' It by Sonny Clark.
Here we go. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
Give it up for Rob Edwards and this amazing band. So as you can see, our amazing team provided this beautiful, beautiful QR code. And this QR code registers you immediately for our fall classes. So if you're a young musician, really liked what they did this summer, if they want a healthier, less intense dose of that spread around the year, this is the perfect thing to do. And we have a New York location and a New Jersey location, and our registration just opened up. The earlier you register, you get that early bird discount, and we all love discounts here at the Jazz House. So please take a picture of this QR code, send it along to any friends and family that you may have who might have a young musician interested. We also have adult classes. I know a lot of you parents play a lot of instruments too, and these kids need to get their talent from somewhere. So come out of hiding, come out of retirement. We won't bite. You just might cry once or twice, but it's all part of the process here at Jazz House. I'm kidding, but kind of not really. But yeah, this next teacher has been doing amazing things at the Jazz House. He has come on the last 2 years and has taken over our Afro Latin big band, and that band just sounds amazing. We have it in the summer and during the school year. It's one of the most in-demand classes at the Jazz House and just gets bigger and bigger, and I love to see it. And of course, this is none other than Hanga Lakuna and his amazing ensemble.
Hello, everyone. All right, so I'm very proud of this band. We've been working for the past 2 weeks in a few songs, and I've seen a very big improvement in most of them. Some of them, they're already good players, but I've seen like them growing in sound and the feeling and getting the music and studying it, because I was telling you, okay, you gotta study the music, you gotta listen to the original. So I'm really proud of these students, and yeah, we have, are we good? Yeah, all right. So we're gonna start with a composition that the great Han Mobley called My Groove, Your Move.
Thank you.
on violin, Noah on alto saxophone, James on trombone, and Will on piano. We're going to continue with another Hank Mobley composition. This is called Roll Call. So that was roll call, and you heard from Kay on tenor, Leonardo on baritone sax, Noah on alto, James on trombone, Will on piano, Max on bass, Ben on drums, and Matteo on drums. We're gonna close with a famous Latin song called Mambo In. Here we go.
One, two, three.
Group, I want to say, like, you know, what part of what keeps the lights on and the doors open at the Jazz House is private donations. And, you know, especially in times like this, with new policies being put into place, our funding has really taken a hit. And we at Jazz House, if you know anything about us, or Melissa Walker, you know we never want to back down, never want to regress. We're always trying to make this music even more accessible to more and more people. So in order to do that, we really need your help in these times. And even if it's something like donating a couple of bucks in our donation box to give someone a private lesson maybe who wouldn't be able to afford one, to even a more serious donation, anything you can do would really help. And every single penny when it comes to a nonprofit gets used. And I can say firsthand from this organization, your money will be definitely going in the hands of someone who really needs it and facilitating life-changing experiences for them. And this next group comes from, is led by a faculty member very near and dear to my heart. I remember I would be coming to the summer workshop every year, and every year I would hear her band, and I was like, man, I can't wait to be in that combo, all those cats sound good. And then one year I finally made it, and I started having like a heart attack, panic attack, looking at the sheet music, because it was very hard. It was like intervallic, there was time signature changes, I didn't know what 7/4 meant, and it was crazy key signatures, and don't even get me started on the chord changes. I didn't even know what the heck was going on. But I grew so much in those 2 weeks, and it honestly opened up my ears. It hit me to so many different musicians that I hadn't been checking out, and I think really prepared me for being able to succeed as a professional musician. And she is a teacher who also teaches composition here, and just really opening the minds of so many musicians. One of the great piano players in New York has been on the scene doing her thing, and I just want to give a huge shout out to Michelle Rosewoman.
It's so good to be here, to be back. Always good to see everybody that's here. And we call this the Leap of Faith Ensemble every year, because for the reasons that Birsa said. As they look at the music, they say, oh my God. And then they play the heck out of it. So tonight, we are going to do 3 pieces. And the first one is written by the great trombonist Julian Priester, and it's called Giuliano. The second one is one of mine called With You in Mind for Duke, for the great Duke Ellington, although people are telling me they hear a whole lot of Mingus up in there, which makes sense to me because I love the two of them pretty much equally. And then the third one is another one of mine called Vamp for Ochun. That'll be our set closer. And these musicians up here have worked really hard, and I know you're going to enjoy this. welcome our wonderful TA, Kyle Gentile. We had such a pleasure having him with us this semester, and he's going to join us and contribute his beautiful musical voice to this next piece. Mark on the trumpet, Ethan on alto, Nina on alto, Henry on baritone, Tyler on keys. We got Kenny here in the back on the bass, and Theon on the drums. Leap of faith on the trombone. That sounded good.
So we have one more group, a couple of singers, but one more faculty member left for the evening. And I just want to, highlight a couple of things that are coming up. So if you want to keep hearing all of the musicians that you heard tonight and our musicians from yesterday, we are going to have the Emerging Artists Showcase, part of the Montclair Jazz Festival Soundcheck Series. Free tickets, no tickets required, it's free. As all of our Montclair Jazz Festival events are, the Montclair Jazz Festival as well. So please invite all of your friends in the area. We'll be there from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. at the Wellmont Plaza in Montclair. And then we also have another show on August 20th. Pedrito Martinez will also be playing at the Wellmont. And then, of course, on September 13th is when we're doing our Montclair Jazz Festival Jamboree, which is 8 hours of free music in Lackawanna Plaza. If you've been to the Montclair Jazz Festival before, you know exactly what we're talking about. So we have some amazing groups performing, some amazing musicians, such as Jasmine Horn and Lakeisha Benjamin. Of course, our artistic director, Christian McBride, and his newest group, Ursa Major. So some amazing things happening that day. And now I want to get to some beautiful singers about to come up to the stage, led by none other than one of the best jazz voice educators out there, Kate Baker. We're so lucky to have her on our faculty this year. It's just been amazing having someone who knows so much about the human voice and how to teach and pedagogy. And she's been doing such amazing work this whole past year with our adult vocalists and our youth vocalists. And we just had to have her this summer and see a little bit about what we do here. Kate, how's it been this summer? Has it been good?
It's been amazing working with all the singers. We've been learning songs, we've been laughing, we've been using solfeggio, we've been doing vocal technique, and we've been telling our stories. So tonight is really about telling our stories of what the song is about and doing it with intention. So I would like to bring out first Jada Lee. And she's going to introduce this wonderful wedding section that we're so grateful to have.
Hi everyone. As you can tell, I'm not from here. I am British. My name is Jada Lee, and I've got an amazing band here with me today. We have Aiden on keys. We have Gabriel on double bass. And we have Alex on drums. I'm going to be singing two songs. The first is titled Butterfly, composed originally by Herbie Hancock. And the second song is titled So Many Stars, composed by Sergio Mendes and the Bergmans. I hope you guys enjoy.
Precious day. sequence and the ways to love every moment of the day. The flowers you kiss all come to life.
That was Butterfly. Okay. So now I'm gonna sing So Many Stars. Yeah. Here you go.
So many dreams, which one is mine? One must be right for me. Which dream of all the dreams? When there's a dream for every star, and there are so many stars, so many stars. The wind is filled with songs, so many songs. Which one is mine? One must be right for me. Which song of all the songs? When there's a song for every star, and there are so many stars, so many stars. Alone the countless days, the endless nights that I have searched. So many eyes, so many hearts, so many smiles. Which one to choose? Which way to go? How can I tell? How can I know? I don't know. She'll be playing with Alex, Gabriel, and Adrian.
Good evening. Tonight, I will be performing, well, tonight we'll be celebrating Duke Ellington with two pieces, Daydream and In a Mellow Tone. In a Mellow Tone, I love In a Mellow Tone. I feel like when I sing it, I'm talking to my girlfriends, but only one of them is in the crowd right now, so. Okay. Elisa, my lovely lady Elisa. Anyways, we'll be performing In a Mellow Tone.
In a mellow tone, feeling fancy free, and not alone. I've got company, everything's okay. The little day with this mellow song, I can't go wrong. In a mellow tone, that's the way to live. If you know they're wrong, something's gotta give. So go your way and laugh and play. There's joy unknown in a mellow tone.
I'm so sorry, man. Oh my gosh. Anyways, alright. Daydream. Song about love and crushes. Alright, let's go. Why do you haunt me so?
break my reverie until I find that I was daydreaming just like
Next performer that we have coming up is Marta Lopez Brax. Give it applause.
Hi, I'm Marta Lopez Bax. I'm going to be singing two tunes for you. The first one is Cherokee by Radam, and the second one is Fall by Marta Lopez.
brave Indian warrior. Since first I met you, I can't forget you, Cherokee, sweetheart, child of the prairie. Your love keeps calling my heart enthralling you, Cherokee. In the summertime, oh loving time, gone by. From my memories, so tenderly inside my brave Indian warrior. One day I'll hold you in my arms, hold you, my Cherokee. get out of life, there are four. And there may not be many, but nobody needs any more. Of the many facts making the list of life, truth takes the lead, and to relax, knowing the gist of life. It's truth you need, and the second is honor, and happiness makes number three. When you put them together, you know what the last one must be. Baby, so true, honor and happiness, and nothing more, leaving only wonderful, wonderful love. Let it go. Next one to close us up, we're going to have the amazing vocalist MacMillan.
Alright, so last performance of Jazz House 2025 Summer. Pretty cool. So first, I'd like to thank our rhythm section for joining us. We have Aiden here. We have Gabriel on the bass. And we got Alex on the drums. And then, because of the selection of songs we were doing tonight, we're going to dedicate this night to Shayla Jordan. And I'd say specifically for my songs, because we're going to start off with Stardust, which is one of the most recorded songs of all time. So yeah, we'll see where it goes.
And now the purple dust of twilight time steals across the meadow across the sky. The little stars climb, always reminding me that we're apart. You wandered down the lane and far away, leaving me with a song that will not die. Love is now the stardust of yesterday, the memory of the years gone by. Sometimes I wonder why I face the lonely nights, dreaming of a song. The melody haunts my reverie, and I am once again reminded of when our love was new, and each kiss an inspiration. But that was long ago, and now my consolation is in the stardust of a song. Where stars are you are in my arms. This nightingale tells a fairy tale of paradise where roses bloom. And though I dream in vain, in my heart it will remain my stardust melody. The memory of love's refrain.
And I hate to switch it up on you, but now we're gonna go back to swinging. So, let's end this off with Yardbird Suite. I'll be doing the lyrics by Bob Duro, the good ones.
I sing this song, hoping you'll all find out the man who wrote the Yardbird Suite. Leave you no doubt, I tell you about Charles Yardbird Parker was his name. The facts he carved his fame in history, playing a sax for his axe. His improvisation was miraculous. A mastermind of rhythm was he. He blew notes that nobody had ever before told them, as they'd never been so often true. As genius seems to do, he suffered his life through, but gave us the Yardbird Suite. you no doubt. I tell you about John Sniper Parker was his name. Those are the facts he carved his fame in history. With the sights of his eyes, his improvisation was like his eyes, like a line of real beauty. You know that nobody had ever before. Then I said, you're so often true, as a genius seems to do. He suffered his life through and gave us this here song. Yes, he did, yeah, he suffered his life through. And you know he had it rough, he was going through some stuff. But he gave us the Yardbird Suite, the Yardbird Suite, the Yardbird Suite, yeah. I wanna sing it right now. I just did. You're gonna sing, I say, the last song, my jazz house mama of 2025. Can you believe it? We're all just singing at the bar,
Sheila Jordan would be really proud. You know, Sheila, I had the pleasure of teaching with Sheila in Italy for about 10 years and then also at City College. And I remember the one before I would teach, I said, well, can I watch you? I was just starting out. And, I've got this one. And she said to me, and I watched her and I said, oh, I get it. Because she would point out the one thing to change, not saying like 50 million things. And I watched the students just thrive and get better. And so I try to take Sheila with me whenever I'm teaching. So cheers to Sheila Jordan. And I would like to bring out all the singers. Can we do that? And Dylan. And Amy, Gabrielle, and Alex. They came here, they worked so hard. And really coming up. Guys, let's take a bow. And here's that.
Man, it's really nights like tonight, you know, you just know that the music is very well taken care of and jazz is very, very much alive, no matter what people want to say, and it's in really, really good hands. So you guys just made my night by playing so well, and I want to wish everyone a good night. I know it's late. Unfortunately, I know as much as we want to hang, we are jazz musicians and jazz fans after all, we do have to get out of the building by 10 p.m. tonight, so. And these kids gotta get to sleep, they got a big day tomorrow. So we'll see you guys all on Saturday at the Wellmont Plaza from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. for the final Emerging Artist Showcase. Thank you everyone watching online, and have a great night, everybody.